Cecile. I'm still here. Greetings, everybody. Greetings. Give the masses out there a wave, everybody. Give the masses out there a wave. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Welcome to the Simply Together show, Tuesday, the 8th of February. As always, we have a jam-packed show, as they say. And co-host Cecile is in the wings with our first guest, the lovely Nikki. And then later on, we will be coming back with the lovely Dave. So over to you, Cecile.
Hello. Thank you, Dee. Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Simply Together show. So the first guest we've got today is Nikki from Gift Thy Neighbour. Okay, so maybe people don't know what that is. I'm actually on your Facebook page, so I do know what it is.
Lovely.
But if you could give everybody just a bit of an intro as to what you do and how it works.
Okay, so it started off, I work in a hotel that the Home Office have taken over for refugees, and they come with nothing. So it started off getting clothes and coats and toys, bikes, things like that for the refugees. And then I was in a different group leading up to Christmas doing that. And one of the mums said, you know, my mental health isn't good. I don't know what I'm going to do for the kids for Christmas. So I piped up and stated that if there are other parents out there that are struggling exactly the same way, to get in touch. And I started to do Christmas present gifting. And it just grew. So then we made up our own group, and it's Gift Thy Neighbour. But it's not just with items, it's with time as well, because time is really important. So on the group, if you needed a washing machine or a slow cooker, or you just needed a pair of trousers for an interview, you can come on and you can ask for any item. And if someone on the group has got it, then they come up and say they've got it, or I'll try to source it. But it's also about gifting your time and your energy, because there are a lot of people out there with mental health or disabilities, or people that are moved out from hostels, the homeless. So we're helping them as well. And we do that by either going into their house and doing things for them, or like on Thursday night, we've collected loads of items for the homeless, and we're going out to the streets on Thursday evening to gift it all out before the bad weather comes.
Wow. I knew about the gifting of items, because obviously I've seen it. I've been on there and I've seen it. I didn't know you gifted time.
Yes.
And didn't know anything about going out on Thursday. So what have you managed to pull together then for Thursday evening?
So we need a few more volunteers if possible. But for Thursday evening, we have got sleeping bags, tents, coats, shoes, gloves, hats, scarves, jumpers, mats like yoga mats or foil wraps. We've got the emergency heat bags that you put on.
Okay.
We haven't got many, but we've got enough to do a run on Thursday. All your hygiene products. Some flasks, some pot noodles, things like that can help them. But we're going out at night to make sure that we do get those that are actually homeless and living rough.
As opposed to people that might be around and want something for free.
Yes. Where do you go for starters? What area do you cover? So we were hoping this time to cover Houghton Regis, Dunstable and Luton, but we haven't got enough support. So we're going to meet on Thursday night at the old Strathmore car park, which was the multi-storey, but it's now a single storey.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll work from our cars. We'll be going to places like the train station, the back of the Arndale, underneath the fly pass, the flyover, and places like that, places where we know that there are people sleeping rough. If there are any areas that anybody watching knows that might not be so obvious to us, then let us know, because we'll go and visit them. Anyone that comes along, we're asking them to make sandwiches and flasks of tea and coffee and stuff like that as well, so that we can give them some food.
Okay, so for anyone who is clearly not of the age that myself and Nikki are, they're actually meeting by the mall, not the Arndale, because young people don't even know what the Arndale is, but
No.
we do, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need some more people, some more volunteers. Kind of, how many do you need?
Just enough to go out. I mean, if there was 15, 16 of us, we've got about 7 or 8 at the minute, but if there was 15 or 16 of us, we could go around and talk to more people, to more of the homeless, because it's not just about giving them items, it's about sitting down and having a chat with them.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be doing other things for the homeless in the future as well. We're going to set up a community hub. That's what we're looking into, where they can come into a hall, have something warm to eat, have a shower, have a haircut. We've got the computers already upstairs in my loft. So we'll set up a computer hub so that they can contact their family or look their family up on Facebook to see how their family and their relations are doing, if they want it to remain private, and just have an afternoon of chatting, playing games. We've got like table tennis and all that sort of stuff. They're the things that we're hoping to get to them. So when we go out on Thursday, we want to have a chat with them and find out what it is they would like. We've also got hopefully a lady coming with us that might be able to house some of them as well.
Wow.
Yes.
And is that because they're not going to, I don't know, housing associations or the council or whatever to try and access housing? Is that why she's coming out?
Yeah, what she works for the people that do the hostels.
Okay.
And I don't quite understand it because I haven't had an in-depth conversation with her yet. But there are some hostels that are marked up for certain use, and apparently these can be offered to the homeless. So she was going to come out and see, because obviously not all homeless want to be homed.
No.
Especially the veterans. They're living the way that they are because they don't want to do civilian life. So them sort of homeless people, we'd like to try and, because I run another group, which is a lot larger, but that includes veterans. So the homeless veterans that we meet, I'll also be taking their details out, because I will be passing their details to our veteran site, because that might get them a lot more support and help of what the type of help that they need.
Do you know what? It's quite not funny, but I was literally having a conversation with somebody a couple of weeks ago about homeless people. And this person that I was talking to was saying, you know, there's no need because actually they can go and get somewhere to live, blah, 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 blah. And I said, but sometimes when you're in that cycle of being homeless and you've done that for quite a while, having somewhere to live is actually more daunting than being out on the streets, because they know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's trying to get them to change that mindset, maybe. Yeah.
And some people, one of the other reasons that they don't want to live in houses or hostels is because it will then grow and they'll go into permanent accommodation. And to go into permanent accommodation, they've got to go on the electoral roll, which means then they're visible for people that are looking for them.
Yeah.
And that can be really scary for quite a few of them, if there was an abusive reason that they left their home setting. So I think that can put quite a lot of people off as well. So it is literally about just sitting down and talking to them and finding out how they're doing and what it is they'd like, really. And I don't think that they have them sort of conversations with people that much.
It's really complex, isn't it? It's not as simple as people might think it is.
No. And then you get people saying to you, oh yeah, but the homeless, they're all on drugs, they're just going to sell what you give them to, and it's like, gosh, If you were living in that situation, wouldn't you want a route out to forget it all?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have to think of the other angle. If we don't go out and help these people who are struggling human beings, we're all one paycheck away or one abusive relationship away from being homeless ourselves. So if we don't go on and help them, then I forgot what I was going to say now. If we don't go and help them, then who is?
Yeah.
You know, and people say about the drug abuse, etc. Well, loads of normal people do that.
Exactly.
You see? So, and that's the other reason we're doing it in the evening, because I think that people that are generally homeless are going to welcome a sleeping bag. They're going to welcome a pair of shoes that don't leak and are fur lined. They're going to welcome thermal socks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm hoping to meet some really lovely people Thursday.
So we can get that out there. We will shout that out to everybody. Nikki's looking for a couple of people, 4, 5, 6 people, 7, as many as we could get, you know, just to go down and help for the evening so that you can actually, you know, meet more homeless people than you would have done if there's only 7 of you.
Yes.
We've got a couple of questions. So, loving this work that you're doing, do you work with any other organisations like Mary Seacole or Salvation Army?
So we are, because we've literally just started up, we are, and it's been, I work a full-time job, and sometimes I work double my full-time job at work, and I haven't had a second to myself.
Yeah.
Because of doing collections, donations, and helping people. The day after Christmas, after Boxing Day, I was painting someone's house. So I haven't had the chance yet to sit down and get in touch with these groups. However, we've got a couple of meetings set up, because it's not just about the homeless, it's about the elderly, it's about the disabled, it's about domestic violence.
Yeah.
We're looking to do old-fashioned jumble sales to help the community that can't afford much, and also to raise funds for the group, so then we can then go out and buy more stuff for the homeless, more stuff for the domestic violence.
Yeah.
We hold raffles. We're looking to go into, in the future, to do lunches during the school holidays at halls around the Luton and Dunstable area for the children. So we're not just looking into one area, it is a community group, and we are looking to do all we can for the community. One of our major issues at the moment is storage, though, I've got to be honest.
Yeah. I've got a couple of questions. So one of the first questions then is from our lovely Nikki. So is it compulsory then, when you have a property, either renting or owning, that you have to go on the electoral roll?
I think you will get, the council send letters out to every home come voting time.
Yeah.
And I do believe that, I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe that there are fines attached. But you have to pay your poll tax to go on the electoral roll. But if you don't pay your poll tax, if you're, you know, they're going to come after you anyway. So one way or the other, they're going to get you.
Yeah. As you're saying that, I'm thinking, yes, actually, they do send that out. And then if you don't pay that, then they're going to come for you anyway, aren't they? Okay. Yeah.
And there's other ways facing you too. Cars, DPLA, utilities, Facebook.
Another question then. So the question I've got was, what are you thinking about with your hub? But Dee has also put another question, is about kind of most probably working together, because we are also looking for a hub space.
Okay.
So what have you got in mind? Or have you not got anything in mind yet?
We're looking to speak to certain community centres around the area, because the meetings aren't officially booked in yet. I don't want to sort of like give names or areas out. I have got a meeting with some social workers and care workers that have set up their own sort of like group that have got access to halls, and rooms around the area as well, because they are looking to offer me regular hours in halls per week to do coffee mornings and social events, you know, for mental illness, for socializing skills for young mums and things like that. So yeah, there are halls that are hopefully going to come to us. But you've got a lot of people out there in the community that actually own buildings that aren't being used.
Yes.
They're paying for these buildings. They're standing there empty. Let us in.
Yes. So I know Dee is most probably chomping at the bit behind the screen, because I think there could be some collaboration going on here.
100%.
Because we're looking for hub space as well, and the stuff that we do is all around people. It's, you know, supporting people with their mental health, with the things that they need, courses, things like that.
Yeah.
So I think that we could somehow, I'm getting quite excited now, somehow work together.
That would be great. Yeah, that would be great. And there's other people out there as well that do want to work and collaborate with us too. So it would be really lovely to have a community hub that includes everyone.
Yeah.
And it's not just Luton. We've got Silsoe, Barton Clay, Slip End and Harpenden on board.
Oh, excellent.
That are helping us, yes.
Excellent. Yeah. Brilliant. So how do people get in touch with you?
First of all, they can join the group, Gift Thy Neighbour the Items and Time on Facebook. There was a newspaper article 2 weeks ago that's got my details on my phone number in. We do have an email account, which we'll forward to you, for people that want to email in. They can add me on Facebook, or the group is also on Instagram. We're just starting it up on Instagram, so it's not in full depth yet. But we have a lady that's going to take charge of all the social media for us. So she's going to get stuck into that next week. But yeah, if they message you or they join the group, they'll be able to make contact.
Okay. So that's the, what you called? Gift Thy Neighbour.
Gift Thy Neighbour Your Items and Time. Your
Items and Time. So that's on Facebook. And then they could private message you via that then?
100%.
Telephone number. Yeah. Okay.
100%. I don't mind my telephone number going out, because I am actually looking to get a private number, because the newspaper obviously put my telephone number out there. So yeah, I don't mind my telephone number going out at all.
But what you can do is, we're going to wrap up now for the Justar, I think, is coming on. But in the private chat that we've got, just put your details in there, and then they'll put it on the screen. They can share it that way. So absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I just think it's brilliant what you're doing. Don't disappear, because if we get time, we might be able to get you back on. So just kind of stay in the background. But yeah, so thank you, Nikki, from Gift Thy Neighbour.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Who's coming in now then? See, this is real life. Real life. Hello, Justin.
I was just going to let you sweat for a minute. I thought I'll just let her see what she does. Just give her 5 minutes. I know you wouldn't. I know.
Hi, Nikki. This is how we roll.
Look at the state of me. This is how we roll. Hi, guys. Apologies for my delay that I'm late as well. I've got a dodgy eye. I've been rubbing it like mad, but I'm here. And Nikki, I was loving what you were saying. I was trying to add your page. I've added it in the link quiz. If anyone can't find it, you can click on the last thing that I added in the comments for Nikki's Gift Thy Neighbour Facebook page.
Thank you.
No, thank you. It's
excellent.
Wicked. And I'd love to help as well, so I'll be in contact. I've just joined the group myself.
Amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know we've got another guest on. I'm a bit behind, Cecile, so you want to help me out?
So you've now got Dave Smith. David Smith is here.
Hi.
David is a gardener and an artist. And the conversation we was having before, Nikki kind of said that gardening is also an art form anyway. So, yeah, and that's brilliant, because Justar is also an artist.
Oh, right.
We'll have a lovely discussion. She does art. So, yeah, over to you, Justar.
Okay, guys. Yeah, thank you. Hi, David. I'm actually...
Hi.
really excited to see some artwork and gardening as well. And I couldn't agree more because I just bought a load of flowers and plants yesterday that I've got to put in the garden. So this is perfect timing. Inspire me.
Yeah, and just sit back and watch it grow.
Oh, sorry, lost a bit of sound there. What was you saying, sorry?
Oh, right. Now's the time to put the stuff in the ground and watch the stuff grow. Definitely.
Yeah, natural. So,
yeah, and you're starting to see stuff now in garden centres and places because this is the time of year people start to buy stuff. So you'll get a good selection of things cropping up.
Well, my timing's perfect, and I'm glad it's perfect time of meeting you. So yeah, tell me more. Sorry, David, I'm a bit behind as I was saying, but yeah, I would love to know about your art and about what you do and gardening and any tips I can get this time of year.
Oh, right. Well, so I've painted all my life. In that respect, I mean, I went to art college, and I've kept painting all my life, but it's always been as an extra thing. You've always had to have a day job, if you see what I mean. So many artists do have to have a day job.
They say they're starving artists for a reason, don't they?
And so gardening is, I would say, was my second passion, really. So I'm lucky in the sense that I get to be working on gardens during the day, and then if I get a chance, I get to paint at night. And the idea as I'm going is that I'm not a young man anymore, and gardening can be quite a physical job. So I'm trying to paint more as I get older and garden less, although that's easier said than done because I'm always in demand gardening, and there's never enough time for it. But yeah, I've done a few bits these last couple of years. Getting.
So when you say painting, can I just ask? Sorry, because I know a lot of people, like when they say art, they think that it's just drawing, and when they say painting, they think that it's just painting. But do you do oils, acrylics, watercolors? What's your preference?
I can do the lot. I'll paint in. I can paint in oils. I can paint in watercolor because they are quite different disciplines, and that's the thing artists have to learn, don't they? If you might have been painting in oils, or even if you change from oils to acrylics, it's very different because the medium's different, drying times and things like that. And then watercolor is a whole new ball game. You have to really do some work on it before you can start to get proficient at it.
People don't respect how difficult watercolors are to do good.
Oh yes, I mean you can mess a watercolor up in a second.
So glad you said that. I feel so much better about the watercolor work I did the other day.
yeah, you can. It's interesting. When you're painting with acrylics and oils, you're usually painting from dark to light because you can add the light with paint because it's opaque, so it means it doesn't let anything through. When you're painting with watercolors, the paper is the light. So you have to plan your watercolor very carefully, so that you don't.
Very delicate if you play with it too much.
Yeah, definitely. So and most art there is a process. It's not a matter of. I mean, some people are very capable and are able to just walk up to a board or a canvas and work. But for me, I have to do a lot of homework and work out what I'm doing before I start, and process it through my mind, what's going where and colors.
So what type of things do you paint? Do you have like a subject that you'll go to, or do you just paint?
I'm mainly a portrait artist. So that's what I do most of the time.
Have you got any work to show us?
I'll have an Instagram.
Sorry, I forget we're online. I'll just be talking to you about art for the next hour. Have you got any pieces to show us while you're online now?
Not here, I'm afraid. I'm sitting in my studio, but I've got everything out at the moment. I've got an Instagram site where I put everything on. Yeah, I've actually
added that. I've got that at the bottom for anyone that wants to follow you. Hopefully they'll click that.
Yeah, David Dots. Yes, David. So there's a lot of stuff there, and it's a mixture of things over the years that I've done. Like I say, you do. Most artists will move around, do landscapes. I mean, I'm interested in gardening, obviously, so I've done some botanical illustrations as well over the years, and things like that, and horses as well. A lot of the people I garden for are reasonably well heeled, and so they'll have horses, and I said, "Oh, David, you're not, would you do my horse?" So I've done a lot of horses over the years as well. That's been very lucrative.
Yeah, I can imagine, because if you can afford a horse, I'm sure you can afford a picture of the horse.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people
So,
think that, oh, you could do this and get some attention out there, get some. It doesn't feed you though. They didn't realize that you need to actually still earn money to buy the paper to draw.
I mean, it is hard for people, and everything's changed. I mean, when I first started, there were a lot more galleries about, so you could take stuff to a gallery, put it up on a wall, but now it's all online, and I'm not very good at that, so I'm having to think about how to present myself in the virtual world, really. I mean, start putting the Instagram side up.
The best creatives are not very technical or like good with that side of things when it comes to the social platforms and when it comes to the business side. Like, we just want to do art and get on with it.
Exactly. We're arty-farty people, aren't we, you see? We just want it to happen. But yeah, so you have to be a bit hard-nosed about things, I think. And but it's a process at the moment. We'll see how I get on. Yeah.
So basically you do gardening during the day and paint by night?
Yeah. So I mean, I've got a studio now, which is basically a shed in the back garden. So at least I'm not messing up the house, which is another thing. Again, if so many artists are painting on the kitchen table, and that determines what you can paint as well. You know, you can't set an easel up in the living room, or well, people do, but the rest of the family.
You've not been to my house.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I've got this room now that I can do stuff, and I can leave mess about and not really worry, because artists, again, by their very nature, are usually quite messy.
Can I write this down so you can tell people for me? I basically tell people that I live in a house with a studio with a bed. Like, my house is a studio with a bed. And
yeah.
Like, the only problem is that if I leave paints out, I've got 3 cats, and it's happened to me on brand new carpet with blue paw prints. Yeah, so you know, that's the only thing. But I'm sure you can understand.
No, I understand completely. But this is it. We suffer for our art. You see, I mean, this is part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested. What? I mean, I can see that what you've got behind you, is that one of yours? Yeah.
Oh, that looks really bad. But that picture, the nose looks really bad there. Yeah, this is a pastel portrait. Yeah, I do like a lot of life-size pastel pieces, and I do paintings as well. I do art in it. I make cups, t-shirts. So yeah, that's why I can literally talk to you all day about art. So I have to.
Oh right, yeah, definitely. And this is it. Often it's a very solitary. I mean, both of my professions are quite solitary. As a gardener, I don't see many gardeners. I tend to talk to squirrels and hug trees.
Yeah, and talk to the plants. They need it. They grow better. Yeah,
I get a lot of sense from them. But when you're an artist as well, unless you're in a community, you tend to be on your own. So it's nice to meet other artists, definitely. So that you can discuss work, talk about other artists, and just, you know, pick up on things. And you can bounce off each other as well, because often it's interesting. There's whether you can paint from life, or some artists are famous for just painting from the imagination. I'm not very good at painting from my imagination. I have to look at what I'm painting. I remember reading a book somewhere about Francis Bacon and Freud, and they were saying that Bacon paints things from his imagination, where Freud had to have someone in front of him. So obviously he's doing lots of nudes and things like that, where Francis Bacon could actually encapsulate ideas and present them on a canvas and come up with a feeling.
His pictures were a bit, you know, it shows you what's going on in his head.
Well, this is it. But again, he's pulling things out from his mind, as opposed to painting what you see in front of you. So that, and there were
painting what you see is also not what other people see, because you know when you watch them programs on TV,
it's
the same thing. The way that they paint it, I love seeing the difference. So, like, you know, paint an apple and the apple was like.
Yeah, I mean, some people see it as one green and some people see it as orange. I know what you mean. And they introduce, and that's the beauty of it, because, I mean, you know, different people painted. It's like fingerprints. They're all going to come out differently because we interpreted it all. Yeah, definitely.
We had on a guest last week. You just reminded me of. I'm going to big them up. Little Red Arts in Luton. They actually were talking about literally the same sort of things you were just talking about, and about being together as artists and using the space and being creative together. So anyone else check out Little Red Arts Centre? I think it's the Arts Centre, Little Red Arts something in Luton, and they want to get more people in there. It's a community for artists. They're trying to they've already got quite a few people, but they're trying to build more of a community and get artists together like we're supposed to do, like we need to do for us all. So yeah,
definitely.
Check them out. Might be a shout too. Like, whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Luton. I live in Lee Grove, so yeah.
Oh, yeah. So have you ever been to Little Red Arts?
Just recently. Yeah, just recently. I mean, and this is it. I mean, community arts are a very good idea. I mean, they're good for well-being and health anyway. And also, it'd be interesting to get some stuff on some big walls maybe around the town to liven the place up a bit. And it'd be interesting to find some people like-minded that, you know, you can do that sort of thing, because that's quite a large project. I've painted murals before, but only sort of like a house wall and things like that, and that takes a bit of planning. But to do something quite large would be quite an interesting project. Yeah.
Sounds like we might meet there one day soon, because
I think we're working towards that, you know.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
So do you manage to exhibit?
Well, I don't want to say too much, but I was just in the Saatchi Gallery for the whole of December with
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, pretty cool. I kind of forget because a lot of our things going on, but yeah, so I'm going to be in there again this year, and I'm going to have bigger space.
Brilliant. So do they approach you? Do they approach you?
No, it's actually with a project I was doing. It's called the Child of Project, working with other artists to do with children of alcoholics and like to do with alcoholism and raising awareness.
Oh, right.
In itself, it's another big project, but I could talk about that for ages, but unfortunately we run out of time.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, but I'm sure we will talk more afterwards, because I'd love to speak more to you about art and see what else that we can do.
Yes.
For now, where does anyone need any information about you to find you? Should I get Nikki and Cecile back on so they can join us for the last little bit if they're ready?
Cool, yeah, definitely.
But yeah, tell everyone where to find you and any information we need.
Right, well, basically my Instagram site, which is david.smith640. Again, at the moment, it's merely just a site presenting my art. I mean, a lot of these artists on Instagram are very good at presenting themselves, and they put in how they're working and things like that. At the moment, I'm just putting my work in. I'm trying to get my head around the virtual world and self-promotion to present myself a bit more livelier, maybe is a good word, but we'll see.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a headache. But yeah, I've not speaking to you.
So you were saying about the fact that there are fewer art galleries. How do people then sell their work? How do they exhibit their work if there are a lot less than there used to be?
Well, you can still go to the galleries. I mean, if as an artist, you can't sit alone and just wait to be discovered. You have to get out there. You have to take your art to galleries and say, look, what do you think? You normally, like anything, you'd approach them by a phone call or a message and say, look, would it be make an appointment, something like that. Usually local stuff. I mean, you know, there might be some local galleries around, and then see what they think of your work. And if they think, oh yes, we think it would work here, and you can present it. But there are so many sites now of people selling work online as well. That's the big one. Because again, in theory, I could put something up online and someone in Japan could buy it, because you're approaching a much larger audience. So there are outlets still, but some of the galleries I used to go to aren't there anymore. So I mean, but at the same time, as an artist, you have to have a body of work. Whereas I paint to order.
Oh,
So
okay.
because I paint to commission, I haven't got 40 fabulous paintings sitting in my attic waiting to be discovered, unfortunately. You have to have a body of work to show people, really. That's why all my Instagram stuff is stuff that I've painted and sold. Because someone has asked me to do something, and the way you go.
They do say that some of the best artists, like back in the day, never sold any artwork. So it's actually hard. You can be the best artist in the world.
Oh gosh, yes, yeah. It's certainly. I mean, famously Van Gogh. I mean, he sold one in his life. Yeah. And I mean, there are plenty of unknown and undiscovered people out there, and historically there have been as well. It's not an easy profession to work with.
Art chooses you. You don't choose art because
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
Maybe that will slightly change then when you do less of the gardening because you're looking to retire from that. Then you've got time to build up a portfolio so that it can go into these galleries.
That's the plan.
Okay.
But we'll have to see. Yeah.
We had a lot of this getting started last year. Because I run one of the other groups that I run is it was the Captain Tom page with the veterans. And obviously, whilst Captain Tom was doing what he was doing, we had like 130,000 members, and loads of artists come onto our group. And they got their work, some of their work got quite well known. And obviously it was donated to Hannah and the family and the foundation as well, off from them. But from that, a lot of artists have sold an awful lot of work. So that's one way of selling your work as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, things can snowball very quickly, without a doubt. And also you have to be prepared and ready to work with that. If all of a sudden I had 10 people ask me to paint their portrait, I don't know what I'd do, because I couldn't do it.
Get him in a queue. So you first.
Yeah, this is it. So yeah, you have to. I'm trying to do it as uncontrolled as possible, so that I don't disappoint anybody. Because it's no good someone said, "Can you paint my portrait?" Yeah, in 23 maybe or something, if you're lucky.
So I know we're gonna have to wrap up now. We're already behind on time, but also as well, can you just tell people like how the benefits of art quickly before we go, because we're saying all the bad things about art, how hard it is to do art, but also like we do art for a reason because we love it, and like gardening, the creativity, and that side of things. So let's give art a good name.
Yeah, because there's a huge therapeutic aspect of art, not in only appreciating it, but also doing it. I mean, it brings out the imagination and the creative.
Oh no!
Well, your sound dropped slightly, David. You're still talking. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you were talking when it dropped off. Yeah.
All right. Yes. No. The therapeutic aspects of art are very, very good. I mean, from the point of view of looking at it and also doing it, it's a very, very satisfying pastime, and people shouldn't be afraid of. I mean, there's always a classic thing. How many times have people said, "Well, I can't draw a thing"? Well, that's not important. That's not important.
How many times I've heard that sentence in my lifetime? Yeah, and
that's not important.
There's only drawing in art, is there? Because there's so many things.
Yeah, no. It's an expression of self, and that's what you have to look at. We're not all creating things to. It's not just a commercial thing. I mean, I'm looking at it, but it's not just a commercial aspect. It's how you're able to use materials to create things, and being creative is a very, very therapeutic thing.
So maybe what we need to do then is do another show where we've got some artists on, Just Are, yourself, and talk about that well-being factor that it has.
So you might remember a show that I've been doing called Just Stars Inspiring Creativity.
I do. But you need to plug that on the next one.
Yeah,
we're wrapping up now.
Yeah. I know
we're wrapping up now, but I need to just talk about International Women's Day. Yes. We're putting on an event on the 12th of March at Futures House in Marsh Farm, 12 till 5. it's going to be a fabulous event. Go on our page, Simply D's event, CIC, and you can get your tickets for that one. And have you got a book there, Justin? Because mine's in the other room. We've got a book that's just come out a few weeks ago. Life Out of Lockdown. There's quite a few of us that are co-authors in that book, and we are going to be doing a book launch, which is going to be in Luton on the 9th of April. So put those dates in your diary, both of you and everybody else that's listening. International Women's Day, and then our book launch on April the 9th. So thank you, Nikki from Gift Thy Neighbour. Thank you, David, with all your, I don't know, art just makes, I don't do art. I can't do art. Don't even tell me that I can, because I can't. I don't, but I love it. I love it. And it has that feel-good factor. It really does. So thank you for both of you coming on. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. That's us for today. So bye, everybody.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Cheerio. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
See you next week, 12 o'clock, Simply Together show.
There you go. There you go.